Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. So, as of Monday, I just had an absolute huge haul day. Brand new acquisitions arrived, and to say that they were plentiful was a bit of an understatement. Box after box kept arriving. DHL, FedEx, freaking post office was crazy. It was insane. Really fun day. I mean, every single time I open up a new box, it always feels like Christmas. So, really excited to be able to come back down here and make some videos for you. So we do have new acquisitions from Zombie Sailors. Now I got the last two, the two newest figures, but I didn't get the one Chase variant, which I think they only made like 500 figures. So I was too late to get that, which really sucked. And I'm gonna have to find it on eBay, and it's probably gonna cost me like $200. But from Random Treasures, we got new figures in from them. Now, I did go back and purchase some new carded figures from Mattel Retros. Yes, I have all of the Mattel Retros carded, but as you guys know, over the last several months, I've been trying my best to acquire all loose figures as well. And when you see my collections, you notice how I like to put loose figures in front of their carded figure. Well, I started doing that in the little storage room as well. So, new figures from there. One of my favorite new sellers, Gary, on eBay. I bought a lot of things from him. A lot of them are just duplicates, like the King Kong Bundy. I got that from him. I got the Mattel Retro of Randy Orton. Those I already own, but I'm planning on opening up those packages and having them as a loose display. And he also sells these really awesome trading cards. I don't know if I'm ever going to do an individual video about these, not unless I actually get, probably one of each for every series. But, trading cards just look like your regular Hasbro figures, and those are pretty freaking awesome. Ultimate Warrior, and I think Legion of Doom would be the last one. So, really excited about those. A couple weeks ago, I picked up the new in package Talking Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior Hasbro 12-inch Hasbro figures. Well, today from Greece, I got two additional figures. Obviously, they are going to be for my loose display. So that's so awesome. And I'm looking around, it's crazy. I got another one of the Mannix figures in. So I do have the black Hulk Hogan loose, and now I got the red Hulk Hogan loose, which is great. And I think that's it. I think maybe a black Hogan on card is all I need, if I'm not mistaken. And I've been buying up a lot of these little 1990s, I think they're made from Jack's, thumb wrestlers. Well, I already have all the LJN thumb wrestlers, and you know what? They display amazing. It's like one of my favorite sites is to look at that little display. And probably a dozen or so carded thumb wrestlers. Why not get into the 90s as well? They don't have the same playability or fighting pose wise, but aesthetically, they still look pretty spectacular. I think today I think this video I'm going to focus on Random Treasures. Because there is one figure in particularly that I requested maybe a year ago. Either, I don't know, maybe last March, last May, somewhere around that time frame. I reached out to Net and I asked her, I'm like, hey, I know you probably have like a million things on your plate. Many ideas of figures that you'd like to create, but are we ever going to come up with get a Galoob 2-up of this particular figure? It was one of those figures outside of Sid Vicious that I really coveted, and about a week and a half ago, I placed a PayPal order, got 3 new figures, the last figures, and we do have upscale 2-up Brian Pillman added to the LJN collection. And I have to admit, I've seen pictures and videos. It just does not do it justice. This actually looks absolutely phenomenal. And I've always said, man, the Galoob line may not be my favorite line, but Random Treasures, they do a perfect rendition of the original Galoob line. And obviously, I went with the Series 2, just a little bit more color detail to it. And look at the bangles, man. So well done. My buddy Rob, he does a lot of customization for my Gloop figures, and to get the 2-up of Ram Treasure's rubber figure, amazing. Color and detail. I mean, I've always said I love the glossiness. I love the way that it makes the figures pop. Hair looks pretty sensational. Finger, I mean, really, what more can you say? It is done extremely well. I have no problems calling it like it is. If Ram Treasures comes out with a bad figure, yeah, I'm gonna let you know. Hey, this isn't good. At least in my opinion. As we all know, these sort of channels like mine, they're opinionated videos, opinionated channels. So I can walk past a million people that say Bob Backlund is a great figure, even though we all know that's not. But yeah, this right here, easily one of the best figures I think that Ram Treasures has. Could I possibly rate him among my top 10 favorites now? I would love to, but I think the pose kind of gets it away from me. But I had the Bengal Shorts Brian Pillman as a kid from Gloob. It was one of only 7 figures that we had from Gloob as kids. And this was one of the most absolute enjoyable action figures. So, yeah, Sid Justice, I mean, there's not even, or Sid Vicious, not even a question. I mean, he was going to get the brunt of the work, but Brian Pillman was so much fun. And I still say that Brian Pillman is probably the 4th best Galoob figure, just behind Sid Vicious and, who would I put up there? Sid Vicious at number 1, obviously, Barry Windham at number 2, and Butch Reed at number 3. So, I am ecstatic about getting this figure in. It took a year, but man, I'll tell you guys, this is definitely worth the wait. One of my highest recommendations. And even the little claws on the boots, man. There is no detail left unmatched. Incredible piece. So glad to have the 8-inch rubber Brian Pillman added. Now, this next figure, about 2 years ago, I bought this figure from my buddy. You know him as Wrestling Rider. Talked about him a gazillion times on my channel. But his figure was a Texas-based color scheme, and it was a resin figure. Still, resin or rubber, it doesn't matter if it's custom or if it's original. That to me is one of the best figures in the entire collection. The only thing I don't give it even more credit for is the fact that the pose was kind of out there. I didn't like the pose. Well, 2 years later, Ram Treasures decided to make that exact same figure in rubber form. And I always say, resin is nice, but they're statues. They're not playable figures. And at least if I ever wanted to monkey around with these, I had the opportunity. And I had an option to go off of the stock photo. I didn't want to do that. I already have something very similar, very color scheme, very similar. So I'm like, no, let's do something different. How about a Texas tornado type of color scheme? Well, not quite red, but you know what? When I talk to Net or when I message her, I'm like, look, let's try something with tassels. I don't care about the color scheme. You know what? Basically surprised me. And I think I like this figure a lot more than I gave it credit for by the photos alone. Again, same head that I had from my resin figure. But I think just holding figures, gripping them, and just the rubber just makes a world of difference. Because based on that, they are actual playable figures. When you think of resin, I think of, ceramic bowls or something, It's like, it's a statue, and it serves no other purpose, but very serviceable. And I'm really digging these tassels that they put on here. That is super cool. They actually gave me a bag of some other strings and whatnot, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, so I'm trying to see if there's any color scheme. No, it looks like they got it probably glued down or something, but they do move. I don't see any others, but still, guys, awesome addition. I don't mind picking up similar figures. What do I always say? a change in paint scheme makes it a brand new figure in my eyes. So I am perfectly ecstatic with this. Now I just got to find when he wore this particular outfit. But this is Kerry Von Erich. For me, it's just simply Texas Tornado. And the last piece, I didn't know if I was going to get this, or if I did, it was probably going to be a long time away, because just prior to this figure coming out, I did purchase it, a very similar custom figure off of Mercari, and Howard Finkel. So, with many of your interviewers and your special guests, your commentators, etc., you're gonna use more times than not, you're gonna use a Mean Gene Okerlund body, and that's what they did. They took Mean Gene Okerlund and they kind of altered the arms, and they did a really fantastic job. I'm not gonna knock it, not one bit. I have to admit though, it just looks more genuine. It looks more realistic. Whereas I don't like that a lot of these figures I buy, they come with the glossiness that you get from Ram Treasures and the glossiness that comes on these other figures. I've kind of compared it to lacquer, a little sticky substance that makes your wood really shine and whatnot. So yeah, I'm impressed. I really like this one a lot. And Howard Finkel, come on, you're not thinking of him as a wrestler. It's instances like this that I'm okay with it. So when you think about Ivan Putski, right, and when that says, well, he's famous for doing that type of pose, he's a wrestler. He's intended for play. That pose stinks. It killed the figure for me, and it had such high potential, but with a figure like this, I don't complain, because it's like the Mean Gene Okerlund. I don't complain. Why? Because it's not intended to be a playable figure. You don't think of Mean Gene Okerlund or Howard Finkel as someone that you would use in a wrestling match. If the pose was better, absolutely you could, but it is still fantastic, and I really got to start giving, Ram Treasures a lot more credit for their amazing figures. And this is pretty sensational. And considering that, as of, filming right now, several days ago, I started working on my least favorite WWF LJN tournament. And there are just an absolute ton of Ram Treasure figures in that tournament. And quite a few of them are so far in the semifinals. So, hopefully, well, if you guys remember that or not, I don't think it's really going to affect anything. I don't think that's like any kind of spoiler, not really. But Howard Finkel, absolutely amazing. And in fact, when I complete this video, I think I'm going to make both the semifinals and finals for that tournament, and that tournament will be 100% complete. So this is going to be posted on Tuesday. Posted Tuesday. Wednesday, I still have the Jakks Pacific. They're not really reviews, not really. They're just more pickups type of deal, with very minor reviewing of the figures. Thursday, if I want to keep posting videos every day this week, Thursday I want to do the over the top. Yes, all 8 figures with original accessories were received today, and that's going to be another absolutely phenomenal video that I'm really looking forward to. What kind of sucks, well, I'll talk about it when I get to it, but it kind of sucks that the arms are not as firm as I would hope, but alright, so coming up this week, Thursday, I said, was the Mannix, or the, not Mannix, excuse me, was going to be the over-the-top man figures. Friday is still going to be my favorite WWF LJN Manager Tournament, and I think I'm down to the last 2 videos, so I think that's going to be the semifinals. And Saturday, if I don't post an eBay video on Saturday, then I'll probably take a look at the 2 new acquisitions from Zombie Sailors, plus the new acquisition, or the new one-man gang that started coming out several weeks ago. So we'll look at those 3 figures. On Sunday, I would like to do a review of the upscale figures. LJN, Galoob, Hasbro, KO. I know there are other big figures out there. I'm trying to think other lines that might have those. Do I include Tonka wrestlers? Nah, no. Wrestling Buddies should be their own video. I only have 2 of them, and for a pillow, $300, $400, $500. Sometimes just not even in box, just the loose. No, I'm not paying that. I'm sorry. At some point, if I can like win a ton on auction or something. At one point, somebody was selling like the complete collection. It was loose, but I don't know how much it sold for. But I think that's probably the only way I would ever go for those, is to get a bundle of them at one time. Alright guys, so that is going to complete this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Get yourself to Etsy and pick up those figures. Not often do I sponsor Random Treasures. I know, I'm sponsoring Random Treasures. But in this case, I will advocate for them because, again, the figures I got in today were pretty fantastic. So, very pleased with that pickup. And I guess until next time, guys, that's it for now. Thanks, everybody.